2004, Gail Laverne Grimes, unable to move due to her weight, was surgically separated from her couch after 6 years. Rescuers had to create an opening in her home to free her. Despite efforts, she couldn't be transported in an ambulance and sadly passed away at the hospital still attached to the couch. In 2004, Thomas and Jackie Hawk sold their yacht to Skylar DeLeon, who, with his associates, attacked the Hawks during a test run, forcing them to sign over the yacht, then tying and throwing them overboard. Their bodies were never found. Skylar DeLeon and his 3 accomplices received severe sentences, including the death penalty. 2 American women, competing to be the first in the country to scale the tallest 14 mountains, were killed while climbing the last remaining peak on their list. Gina Rizuchidlo and Anagutu and their Nepalese guides both lost their lives in separate avalanches while climbing Mount Shishapangma in Tibet. The Siberian Ice Maiden, also known as the Princess of Ukok, is a mummy of a woman with tattoos from the 5th century BC Republic of Alta, Russia. The body of Princess Ukok, who died aged 25, had several tattoos on her body, including a deer with a griffin's beak and a capricorn's antlers. The tattoos have been perfectly preserved for 2,500 years. In 1982, Charlie Hope vanished after leaving a restaurant. Despite extensive searches, no trace was found. A disturbing turn occurred when a skull was discovered, but it belonged to another victim. The mystery deepened as Charlie's clothes surfaced 100 yards from his office. His fate remains unknown, leaving a chilling, unresolved disappearance. A photographer captured a picture of a 10-year-old girl named Engla Junkosa Hoglund on her way home from practice on April 5, 2008. 1 minute later, he also captured a red car driving on the same road. The driver of the red car, Anders Eklund, later admitted to doing bad things to and offing Engla. Eklund also confessed to offing 31-year-old Pernilla Hellgren 8 years earlier. On October 6, 2008, Anders Eklund was sentenced to life imprisonment. Following the sentencing, Eklund was transferred to the Norrtälje Correctional Facility, a high-security prison north of Stockholm. On New Year's Eve in 2011, a Russian woman, often referred to as the Black Widow, made the disturbing decision to detonate a bomb at Red Square in Moscow, an act that would have ended many lives. The offing bomb was designed to explode after the phone it was connected to received and recorded a text message. But things didn't go to plan. While she was still at her safe house, her phone provider sent her a text message saying Happy New Year, which accidentally detonated the bomb and offed her in the process. In 2010, a homeless man named Hugo Alfredo Tail-Yax witnessed a woman being attacked and robbed at knife point. Rather than standing by, he courageously intervened, successfully driving the attacker away. However, Hugo was brutally stabbed in the process. Moments later, he collapsed on the ground, surrounded by his own blood. Despite being captured on CCTV, more than 20 people walked past him. Some stared, but not a single person offered help. Hugo tragically lost his life on the sidewalk where he fell. In 2016, Ben Innes faced a hijacker wearing a fake bomb on an Egypt Air flight. The hijacker demanded diversion to Cyprus, releasing most hostages. Ben, unfazed, took a selfie, later explaining he sought optimism amid uncertainty. The bomb turned out to be fake, and the hijacker was arrested, with the passengers released. In 2015, Prakash Bilhore died in a motorcycle accident due to a pothole in Mumbai. His father, Dada Rao, grieving the loss, filled nearly 600 potholes across the city using sand and gravel to honor Prakash's memory and address the issue of poor roads. These are photos of Garrett Miller taken 10 minutes before a soccer goalpost tipped over and struck him in the head, killing him instantly. May he rest in peace. In 1985, 14-year-old Cinnamon Brown was convicted of killing her stepmother. Years later, however, she would confess that it had been in fact her father who ordered her to carry out the murder so he could collect life insurance and marry his teenage sister-in-law. Cinnamon Brown spent 7 years of her sentence, during which she earned a high school diploma and completed an Associate of Arts degree. She was granted parole in 1992. Her father, David Brown, was arrested in 1988 after Cinnamon wore a wire during her meets with him in prison. David's trial started in 1990, and he was eventually found guilty and sentenced to life. He died in prison in 2014. Just moments after this image was captured, SeaWorld trainer Dawn Brancheau was snatched into the jaws of the orca, pictured here, and brutally killed. Her body was then thrashed about over the course of 45 minutes, while the horrified crowd helplessly looked on. The autopsy report said that Brancheau died from drowning and blunt force trauma. Her spinal cord was severed, and she had sustained fractures to her jawbone, ribs, and a cervical vertebra. Her scalp was completely torn off from her head, and her left elbow and left knee had been dislocated. In 2013, 5-year-old Jocelyn Rojas was abducted from her front yard by a man in a car who lured her with ice cream. Fortunately, 15-year-old Timar Boggs and his friend witnessed the incident and decided to take action. They quickly grabbed their bikes and chased after the car. For 15 minutes, the teenagers pursued the car until the kidnapper realized he had been noticed. He pushed the girl out of the car and fled the scene. Thanks to the bravery of the two boys, the little girl was rescued. Without their intervention, her fate might have been very different. In a harrowing self-offing attempt at the Golden Gate Bridge in 2000, Kevin Hines survived a 220-foot plunge. Battling the strong water current, a sea lion mysteriously kept him afloat until rescue. Now, a motivational speaker, Kevin advocates for self-offing prevention after his miraculous survival gained widespread media attention. Morbid facts. Episode 4. When you feel your stomach drop on a roller coaster, you're actually feeling your organs moving. More than 250,000 deaths are caused by medical error each year. Sleep paralysis is when someone wakes up but can't move, often with hallucinations, or a sense of something ominous nearby, causing intense fear. If you look at a mirror in a dimmed room for 10 minutes, your brain will start to get bored and start imagining yourself as someone else. The Mandela effect is when many people remember an event or fact incorrectly, making us question the reliability of human memory and shared perception. There are diseases and conditions for which there is currently no known cure. Meet Oscar, a therapy cat in a nursing home. He'd cuddle with residents who then passed away, accurately predicting over 100 deaths. Researchers believe he sensed biochemical changes in dying cells, making his chilling predictions a mysterious phenomenon. Oscar's unique ability brought comfort and eerie warnings to the nursing home staff until his death in 2022. This image from September 2022 captures one of the last moments of Diana Robles before her Jeep plummeted approximately 240 feet off a cliff on Camp Bird Road in Colorado. The Jeep was completely crushed during the accident, first falling about 100 feet before rolling another 140 feet. Tragically, her relative Ofelia Figueroa Perez and the driver Don Fed also lost their lives in the crash. The leopard of Panar was a male leopard recognized as one of the deadliest man-eaters in history. The Panar leopard is known for causing over 400 fatal attacks on humans in the Panar region of the Almora district in Kumaon, northern India, during the early 20th century. Famed hunter Jim Corbett heard of the leopard while hunting the Champawat tiger in 1907. which is the most notorious man-eater in history. In 1910, he set out to kill the leopard and was eventually successful.